Welcome. Well, welcome once again. We are here. We are reading our book. That's crazy. Insane. As if I would ever do that. That's like the craziest thing in the world. Um yeah, hi. What's up? It's 6 p.m. on a Monday. I woke up at 10? Weirdly enough. I thought I'd wake up at like 11, but here we are. I have tea. So what am I saying? Why did I mention the time? Because it just means I've been awake for a while, and that kind of changes my energy. You know what? We're not here to have me speak words. Well, say coherent sentences. We're here for me to read the coherent sentences. So don't mind the dogs. Anyway, I have tea. I have actual tea this time, like steeped tea instead of just like a jelly tea. If you know what I mean, like teabag tea. Shamamale. Let's see if I pass out in the middle of this. So last time we didn't actually get too far because my throat gave out. I don't know why. It's just, it is what it is. It's not been the best these days. Allergies and such. Today I'm hoping we can get at least 3 chapters done. Oh my god, sorry, they're so cute. I'm looking ahead to see the chapters, but there's an illustration. It's so cute. Not me spoiling myself. I don't need to spoil myself because they spoiled me. Oh my god. It's so cute. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. We're on chapter 41 called The Fish is Not for Sale. We have come a long way, folks. First it was Fish selling himself, and now we are at Fish is Not for Sale. Round of applause for Liu. I can't clap because I have tea in my hand. And I could, but it'd be a mess. And I don't really want to deal with that. Anyway, that's what we're doing. Ow. I just scratched my face. It's fine. It's fine. I have my noise canceling headphones on because I don't want to hear things going around in the house. Yeah, I don't want distractions. We're here for fish. We're here for fish and preg. Alright? And what more needs to be said? I don't think it does. Anyway, let's just get started, shall we? Shall we get started? God, the illustrations are so fucking cute. I die every time. Now, chapter 21. The fish is not for sale. Let me have one more sip before I start. Prince Jing waited next to the fish pond, but he didn't see his playful fish return. Suddenly, he realized that his gift might have been a bit stupid. Would the carp spirit be so happy in the pond that he preferred to live there instead of staying by his side? Oh boy. Straight into it. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. After all, in the eyes of this fish, he couldn't even compare to a mouthful of food. Oh, I forgot my book. Book. Keyboard. And drag my keyboard out. 6. Yeah. 6 is my hotkey for this one. There wasn't a chance he'd win against a new fish tank, right? Prince Jing hesitated for a while before he decided to enter the water himself to look for his heartless carp spirit. But right then, the water rippled and a fish head poked out of the middle, followed by the little carp quickly swimming over. So the fish did have a conscience after all. Oh my god, this is literally just the first 2 paragraphs. I can't deal with it. Oh man. Prince Jing wasn't upset anymore. As the little carp swam in circles happily below him, Prince Jing leaned over and patted his back. The little carp suddenly curled into a ball and rolled into his palm. What was going on? Prince Jing picked the fish up and checked him all over, afraid that the fish pond might have been constructed too hastily and that he'd been injured by some rough, unfinished edge. I swear to God, if he... Oh, okay. But the fish looked completely fine, lively and vigorous, unharmed. Prince Jing gave it some thought and decided to put the fish back into the crystal bottle. The carp spirit was very obedient, and he had no problem with the crystal bottle, despite having just emerged from a huge, luxurious fish pond. Prince Jing took his fish back to his room and placed him in the fish tank there. The carp spirit didn't object, and Prince Jing took it as a sign that the fish still wanted to live with him. The slight disappointment from earlier turned into a secret delight. I hate him. The fish couldn't speak or express his thanks, but Prince Jing wasn't looking for anything anyway. It was enough as long as he was willing to stay by his side. I'm not even any sugar, but this, oh my god. Oh, just this book is giving me a sore throat, I swear to God. Ugh. You know, I literally, on reading days, I don't eat any sugar so that my throat will be, like, not hurting as much. This book is just... Okay, it's fine. Since Xiao Yu had been busy the whole day, Prince Jing suspected he would fall asleep soon, but when he put his fish back, Xiao Yu was either pressed to the wall of the fish tank and gazing at him, or swimming around to follow his every step. Hurry, go to sleep, Prince Jing tapped the fish's head, and the obedient little fish actually clung onto his hand and wouldn't let go. Most of the time, Prince Jing could understand what the carp spirit wanted, but occasionally he still wasn't sure. After a bit, the fish let go on his own and lay on the white stone bed. Prince Jing was quite tired as well. He lay down on his own bed and soon fell asleep. But the little carp, who had been pretending to sleep, had been listening to his breathing and started to move again as soon as he noticed Prince Jing had drifted off. The tea bowls were still in his room, even though a new huge fish tank had been built. Liu leaped in and out of them. Well, I guess leaped in and out of them, following a familiar path to Prince Jing's bed. There was a red lotus tea bowl next to the pillow today, and the little carp carefully jumped into it. They're so gay! I can't do this. I can't deal with this. It's every single sentence in this fucking chapter so far has just been like, this is the gay agenda. This is the gay agenda. If you read this to frogs, they will turn gay. If you read this to anyone, they will turn gay. Gay? Okay, sorry. He didn't know how to express his gratitude. The Tyrant Master was too good to him. Not only did he avenge him, he built such a huge fish tank too, but there wasn't anything he could do for him in return. Liu gazed at his master's sleeping face for a while, but eventually his fishy senses started tingling and he just wanted to nuzzle him. When do you not want to, okay? But if he jumped over directly, he'd get a bunch of water on his face. What should he do? Perhaps like a cat or a dog, he could just carefully give his owner's face a friendly little kiss. It wasn't as if he hadn't done this sort of thing before, after all. I can't deal with it. I can't do this anymore. I can't. This book is too gay. It wasn't as if he hadn't done this sort of thing before, after all. Since Prince Jing was lying on his back, Liu picked the most good-looking part of his face, slid out of the bowl, and tried to plant his lips on it. But Prince Jing shifted suddenly, and Liu had to dodge out of his way. Prince Jing turned over on his side, and the handsomest part of his face disappeared into the pillow. Liu had lost his target and had to change course. What is wrong with this guy? He's just like, oh, I want to kiss his pretty face, so I'm gonna do it, and I'm a fish, so it's fine, and I've done it before, it's fine. Bro! I'm having too much fun. He smirked. Since that part of his face was hidden, he would have to nuzzle his master's nose. The little carp opened his mouth and vigorously flapped his fins a couple of times as he was about to take a big chomp. But in the end, he only gently brushed past Prince Jing's nose, his fishy lips pausing for a moment on the tip. Don't say that. Don't. Okay. He did it. It literally says that. He 3 times. He did it! Exclamation mark. Liu felt great, as if he'd just eaten several pieces of peach blossom pastry. I can't. I'm smiling so much because he's so stupid. I can't. Okay. Okay, it's fine. I'm fine. Clearly. Oh my god. This is bad because when I laugh, my throat gets more phlegmy, and that's not good for reading. Ugh. Kissing Prince Jing's nose was a big move for Liu, and it was actually harder than kissing his face. Okay. Liu had to tilt his fish body while on the jade pillow to reach his master's nose, and if he missed, he would immediately slip. He was just priding himself on taking such excellent care, but his fins were slippery, and so was the jade pillow. There was no way to keep himself in that kind of position for a long time. His fin slipped as soon as he was finished, and he started to fall uncontrollably toward Prince Jing's face. Of course. His triumph was about to turn into a disaster. Leo couldn't stop himself, and in a last-ditch effort, he tried to push himself away with all his strength he could muster in his tail. When he was just an inch away from Prince Jing's face, his fish body stopped. To be precise, it was his fish tail that stood upright, like a sturdy base supporting his fish body. Huh? The little carp glanced at his own tail curiously. At such a critical moment, his tail became as hard as iron, most likely because of his new fish scales. He knew they were supposed to be strong, but he hadn't tried them out yet, and he was surprised that the tail could support his body like this. Saved, Liu was just about to jump back into his fish tank when Prince Jing, just an inch away from his face, started to shift in his sleep again, his face following him. I love it when I read a word in the next line and accidentally, and then it just shifts into the line I was reading. Before Liu realized the danger, his slippery fish body was pressed against something burning hot and soft. Uh-oh! He was sure he hadn't fallen into Prince Jing, but Prince Jing's lips were now pressed against him. If not for the other party's closed eyes, it really did seem like his scorching lips were kissing his fish belly fins and... ... Liu's tail, previously as hard as iron, something else is iron, whatever. What? Suddenly turned limp, as if it'd been burned. His whole body swayed as he leapt away, trembling. He was too panicked to clearly see. where the tea bowl was, and for the first time he somehow missed the bowl. Instead, he fell onto the ground right next to it, flopping frantically a couple of times before he made it back in. Leo shoved his embarrassed head under his leaf blanket, his entire body almost smoking. Hurry up and calm down. The master was just sleeping, and it didn't mean anything, the little fish kept telling himself. Meanwhile, the person on the bed had been listening to the fish's movements the entire time. Only when the carp spirit finally made it into the crystal fish tank and stopped making any noise did Prince Jing reach out and touch the corner of his lips. My eyes are rolling so far back into my... I'm like, oh my god. They're so... Like, yeah, obviously. Ugh. They're so... Ugh. It's the best way I can explain it. It was the fish's fault for not absorbing essence properly. He'd actually woken up as soon as Zhao Yu jumped onto the bed, but he became impatient waiting for him and took the initiative instead. But the charming failure of a fish spirit is... What? But the charming failure of a fish spirit escaped in the end. He called... Okay, that's what he was... The charming failure of a fish spirit. Prince Jing recalled the feeling of the fish against his face and slightly smiled. The next day, a fish and a human, each with their own ulterior motives, were both feeling a bit guilty. For some reason, the fish was still a soft little carp. He hadn't had a chance to turn into a human yet before an uninvited guest arrived at Prince Jing's manor. The heir to the house of Chang'an had been wandering about the new fish tank in Prince Jing's manor for a while. When he heard that it was finished, Yeshizi wanted to be the first to take a look and join in on the fun, so as soon as it was dawn, he brought Zhongfeng with him to visit. He was stunned by the sight of the manor's huge fish pond as soon as he entered. From what Ye Qinghuan had seen on his previous visits, he thought Prince Jing was sectioning out pieces of the grounds in preparation for a few new ponds, but this was far beyond what he'd imagined. He didn't think Prince Jing would make his entire manor into a pond for the fish. Yeshizi was impressed, but also thought Prince Jing was a bit crazy. Ye Qinghuan let go of Zhongfeng's leash so he could have a private talk with Prince Jing. Zhongfeng had never seen such a large pond before, and he was running along the edge of it when he saw the little carp having fun in the water. Liu noticed Zhongfeng too. He remembered that he hadn't seen Zhongfeng since his scales started changing, so he was afraid Zhongfeng wouldn't recognize him. But not only did Zhongfeng not bark at him, he also curiously reached his nose out toward Liu, like always, wanting to poke him. Huh. Liu recalled that his scales should be strong enough to resist a dog's teeth now, so he suppressed his fear and stuck his head out of the water, letting Zhongfeng gently nudge him. Finally getting his chance to poke the fish, Zhongfeng started wagging his tail out of happiness and scampered around the entire pond. Stupid cat! Of course he recognized his little carp friend. Dogs recognize things by scent. But just running around wasn't fun enough, so Zhongfeng, of course, jumped into the pond with a splash and paddled to the fish. You're so silly! Liu splashed his face with water as a warning. You can come down and play, but you can't knock over the house my master made for me. Fortunately, Zhongfeng was obedient and only played with the fish, with no intention of diving to the bottom. He wanted to race the fish in the water, but obviously the little carp swam faster than he did, and soon left him far behind. So stupid. Yeshizi and Prince Jing both watched these events unfold. Yeshizi clicked his tongue several times, and Prince Jing's face darkened a little. He thought Ye Qinghuan's dog was an eyesore and was about to ask Wang Ji to drag both Ye Qinghuan and his dog out of the matter. Completely unaware, Ye Qinghuan teasingly nudged Prince Jing's arm, his eyes sparkling like the water as he gazed at the pond. Are you not afraid you're going to lose him in such a big pond? Prince Jing paused. The question came out of the blue, so it took him a moment to realize what Ye Qinghuan was asking. He smiled slightly and shook his head. He might have been worried before, but he knew now that Xiao Yu wouldn't do that. The fish and the dog were having fun in the pond. Prince Jing walked over, and the fish, who had disappeared to who knows where, immediately appeared on his own and swam over to Prince Jing's feet, flicking his tail toward him intimately. What flattery. Unbelievable. Yet Qinghwan refused to lose and walked over to Zhongfeng with secret anticipation. But Zhongfeng was staring at him in the water and had no time to pay attention to him. That's enough, he thought in despair. I'm about to lose everything, including my underwear. Oh my god. Yeshizi, who had come to see the fish tank, was so outdone again, angrily led was out. Wait, hang on. Let me reread that. Yeshizi, who had come to see the fish tank and was outdone again, angrily led Zhongfeng away. Yet Qinghuan had just left when the third prince, Mu Tianming, came knocking on the door. Although he always wanted to win over Prince Jing, he didn't visit often, and Prince Jing treated others quite coldly. The last time Mu Tianming had visited was to attend the banquet that the emperor ordered Prince Jing to host. That time he wanted to plant Chu Yanyu around Prince Jing, but until now he hadn't even dared step through the door for fear of Prince Jing's refusal. Mu Tianming had a purpose for his visit this time, too. He used to simply enjoy observing the fish Prince Jing raised as entertainment, but he was shocked to learn the fish had started growing golden scales. The emperor even called it an auspicious sign. That caught the attention of the third prince, since the fish also contributed a lot to the defeat of concubine Shou. Yeah, Mu Tianming was willing to believe that the fish was a good omen. Wu Tianming, who desperately wanted to be named crown prince, naturally wanted to take his good omen for himself, to get in the good graces of the emperor. You're not thinking of taking the fish, right? That's just bad. That's just a bad move on your part. Now that the biggest obstacle before him the second prince, was gone, and the sixth prince was on his side and wouldn't compete against him, the throne would be his sooner or later. Things were difficult now. The support of Prince Jing and the House of Chang'an were no longer important to the third prince. Instead, he started to become wary of Prince Jing. Despite wanting the fish, he didn't want to take rash action, leaving himself open to retaliation and loss of reputation. Instead, he'd employ peaceful measures before resorting to force. Stupid. Sorry. It was just a fish after all, so Prince Jing wouldn't make a fuss, right? Once Wang Ji had received Prince Jing's orders, he brought the third prince to Ninghui Hall, which was used to entertain guests. Mu Tianming brought a lot of his men, all carrying boxes and chests, and placed them in Ninghui Hall. Sorry, gotta burp sometimes. At Mu Tianming's order, all the boxes were opened, revealing the gold and silver within. Liu might have a huge fish tank now, but he still liked the crystal bottle Prince Jing took him around in. When he heard the third prince had come, there was no way Liu was going to miss the show. He jumped into the crystal bottle as soon as possible and flopped around. Prince Jing granted his wish. It wasn't like the third prince could do anything in his own manner. But when the third prince pressed the boxes full of gold and silver, the shameless little carp sank right to the bottom. Liu had never seen so much gold and silver in his life. What was the third prince doing? Mu Tianming got right to the point. Fifth brother, I'd like to make a deal with you. Your fish is quite nice, and I like it. Are you willing... Idiot! Okay. Are you willing to part with it? The audacity of this guy. Mu Tianming smiled and pointed at the boxes his people had laid out on the ground. If this much gold and silver isn't enough, I can add more until you're satisfied. How about it? Boy, this guy has all the gold and silver he could ever want in his entire fucking life, and you think you can buy his only piece of happiness? Honey, you've got a big storm coming. Holy shit! Mu Tianming wanted to buy him from his tyrant master? Illegal! Not allowed! Exactly. Liu found himself desperately praying in his heart, "Don't do it. Gold and silver were great, but that didn't mean he wanted to be exchanged for them. Prince Jing treated him very well after all. He didn't want to leave him." The little carp quickly checked Prince Jing's reaction. Yep. Yeah, sounds about right. The veins on Prince Jing's forehead were visibly throbbing, and Liu could tell that the tyrant was really angry. Seeing this, the little carp calmed down right away and continued to watch and continued watching to see how his master was going to reject the brazen third prince. Speaking of which, the third prince had never given him a second glance, so why did he suddenly want to buy him? It must be because the emperor said he was auspicious. The little carp the little carp hated calculating people who only acted based on what others said. After the third prince proposed his deal, Prince Jing glanced at Wang Ji with a cold expression. Wang Ji didn't care about any third or second prince. He only recognized His Highness Prince Jing. Prince Jing clearly wasn't happy, so Wang Ji loudly said, "There is no need to continue, Your Highness." Sorry, my bad. "There is no need to continue, Your Highness. My prince won't sell his fish." Mu Tianming, surprised, said, "Perhaps you think the price I offered was not enough? What about 10,000 taels of gold and 100,000 taels... Taels? Am I saying that right? Tiles? Of silver. It's Taels. I don't know if that's right or not. Tails. Tails? It looks right. He was becoming increasingly uncertain. It was just a fish. Even if it was auspicious, this was way too expensive. But if it could help him become the crown prince, then so be it. Liu didn't think he'd be worth so much. He disliked the third prince, but he couldn't help but wiggle around proudly. He's so doofus. It's just so... God. If looks could kill, the third prince would have died a couple thousand times over already. Wang Ji glanced at Prince Jing's icy expression and said, "It's not a matter of price. This fish is His Highness's beloved pet. So even if you come with millions of gold taels or tens of millions of silver taels, His Highness won't sell him." Liu was super moved. In the eyes of the tyrant, he was worth more than a mountain of gold. The little carp finally understood the full meaning of priceless pet fish. Prince Jing definitely wouldn't give much respect to someone who tried to poach his fish, so he had Wang Ji kick the third prince and all his gold and silver out. Mu Tianming hadn't expected to be treated this way and left with a sour look on his face. At last the annoying third prince was gone. Liu happily flicked his tail at his master, wanting Prince Jing to take him to the big pond to play, but Prince Jing turned his head to the side and wouldn't look at him. What now? The little carp wasn't sure why his master was suddenly mad at him, so he could only wiggle cutely at him. It actually says cutely wiggle at him, but same meaning. Prince Jing wanted to be stone-hearted for once, but the little carp was too good at being cute, and he couldn't resist pulling the cute fish over to pet him until he trembled. Okay, again, like, why do you... Okay, it's fine. It had been upsetting when the carp spirit stopped swimming the moment he saw all the gold and silver to the third... gold and silver the third prince brought. Sorry, this shit has me gagging. I'm kidding. It's just a particularly not good allergy day today. I woke up with like a stuffy nose and everything. And I take allergy pills every day, so that's fun. But also, they are just too gay. In a fit of anger, Prince Jing ordered all the workers to replace the white stones that the little carp liked to sleep on with rounded silver stones, and the leaf blanket with a handkerchief made of gold Silk embroidered with why can't I say that word? Aquatic plants. Overnight, Liu suddenly found that his bed and blankets had become shiny. Ah, master, I love you to death, the carp spirit yelled inwardly, hugging the blanket and refusing to let go as he rolled around on his bed. Okay, so here's what changed since Fish selling himself is that he'll sell himself for printing, but he won't sell himself for anyone else. Ever. Maybe for Wang Chi a little bit, but my man is loyal. That was the end of the chapter. The next chapter is chapter 24, Teaching the Fish to Write. I'm so normal about this. Seriously, I am. I'm so normal. I'm fine. Character development? Yeah. Real. Because the last time, in the last book, there's a chapter called Fish Selling Himself, and now it's this fish is not for sale. So, yeah. Fish, not quite yet. Well, he did suck a tit. Sorry, I'm done. What? Okay, sure. Peanuts. My throat. Oh my god, it's not hurting. It's just a lot of. Ugh. It's just yucky. Alright, teaching fish to write. The system had been giving Liu a break for a while now, but that night, as he rolled around on his gold embroidered blanket, at last understanding what it meant to be treated like a priceless pet fish, it finally spoke up again. Congratulations, user. The assessment of your main mission has been completed, and the user can enter the next main mission. Is it finally time to move on? Liu wondered. He had never worried about the assessment. The Tyrant Master treated him very well, so he had full confidence that he could continue with the main mission. Although he had accepted the Koi side quest, he'd been leaving it alone and hadn't made any progress because the prompt was so strange. I don't remember the prompt. Can we be reminded, please? It'd been a while since he'd done a main mission, and he actually kind of missed it. Liu immediately entered the system to check. Just as the system said, he could click on the new main mission called Tyrant's Pet Fish for revitalizing the family. Oh. He thought the name of the mission was strange, but he did sort of remember it from the first time he ever entered the system. Didn't the system say the direction of the main missions would be determined by the assessment? He didn't see anything different from before. Liu clicked on the revitalizing mission. This main mission was similar to Priceless Pet Fish and had several steps to carry out. The prompt was to improve the tyrant and the fish pet's life. The first step of the mission was indulge with the tyrant. You know, you might not be too far off, Cadlick. You might not be far off. Hold on. How come it felt like the fish scamming system had become even more of a scammer after the vacation? What in the world was the connection between revitalization and indulging? Man, I have no idea. I have no idea what the connection would ever be. Nope. Nope. I'm gripping my tea so hard right now. I wonder. Shut up. Oh my god. And what was indulging supposed to mean? Did that mean he had to go drinking with the tyrant? Oh my god, do it. Liu had sampled green plum wine before, but he knew that he got drunk easily. He'd definitely do something he regretted if he got drunk again. He felt like he was getting scammed by the mission's drink requirement. It's not... Okay, sure. Can't I just skip this mission? Certainly, agreed the system. Would you rather become fish bones or fish ash? Forget it. Neither of those options were appealing. So he'd have to just do as he was told and carry out his mission. To pump himself up, he looked at the reward first. This time, it wasn't double stats or a new skill, but a mysterious reward, obtaining one of the Tyrant's secrets. Oh, we're getting a lore drop? Oh shit. Liu's first impulse was to reject it entirely. He didn't really want to know any of Prince Jing's secrets. That was his private business. What's more, he was a transmigrated fish. He already knew a lot about Prince Jing from the novel, so this reward was a bit useless to him. Liu decided to push his luck despite the earlier threat. Is there no fish plush like last time? It would be nice if he could have another plush. He transformed often now, and it wasn't good to leave the tank empty, so he really wanted another one. Prince Jing hadn't returned the plush from before, and that one was different from his current size and shape anyway. The fish scamming system had probably never met a user who wanted to pick out their own reward like this. After a period of silence, the system replied, According to the user's suggestion, the main reward of revitalizing the family has been updated. Please take a look. Liu was surprised. Would the system really make changes because of something he said? He went to check the indulge mission. Sure enough, there was a fish pillow listed as the reward now. He was extremely happy about this change. On a whim, Liu had a thought. Since the rewards could be changed, could this indulging be changed as well? How was the fish supposed to indulge with his tyrant master? Sob, sob, sob. It was much too difficult. This time, the fish scamming system stayed silent. Okay, I can see right through you. You can change anything except things that involve scamming fish, is that it? Liu was kicked out of the system and, still wrapped in his gold blanket, started to think about how he could indulge with Prince Jing. If they had a drink, then there had to be wine, right? Uh-oh. Oh boy. While the little carp was wondering how he was going to get hold of some wine to complete his mission, chaos descended outside. A couple of thieves snuck into Prince Jing's manor in the middle of the night and made it to the wall before they were caught by Wang Gonggong and the guards. Ever since the fish pond was finished, the security around Prince Jing's manor had tightened. When the third prince left with a sullen look on his face after his offer to buy the fish was refused, Wang Ji kept his guard up and reminded the guards to keep an eye out at night. But he didn't think the thieves would actually come. He immediately reported it to Prince Jing. Prince Jing glanced at the once... What the fuck? Jesus Christ, what the fuck? I did not know that those did that. Sorry, you caught me in the middle of a sentence. Hello, Truffle Duffle, welcome! Thanks for following. Hope you have a good time. Where was I? But he didn't think that... Right, okay, cool. Prince Jing glanced at the once again unconscious fish in the fish tank. He used to think that He used to think that his fish was sick every time this happened. It rhymed, I hated that. But now he surmised that the carp spirit was meditating. Okay. Prince Jing decided it wasn't necessary to distract Xiaoyu with this information, as he would be protecting him anyway. When the thieves were brought before Prince Jing, all tied up, they weren't willing to admit who they took orders from. The guards found a couple fishnets on them, though, making their purpose very clear. But the thieves hadn't been aware that the fish they were ordered to steal didn't sleep in the fish pond. You amateurs, you think that he'd leave the fish in the pond at night? He's obviously sleeping with him in his bed. Obviously. Don't you see how much he loves his fish? Of course he would. My tea is not hot anymore. Where was I? Wang Ji hated the thieves as much as he liked Master Fish. It must be the third prince, he said, teeth gritted. He wanted to steal the fish since he couldn't buy it. But the thieves refused to confess, and the fish nets alone weren't enough to prove that it was the third prince. Wang Ji suggested torture. Prince Jing thought for a moment, then glanced at Wang Ji sternly and meaningfully. He immediately understood, ordering the guards to take the thieves to the imperial governmental office and interrogate them thoroughly. Good lord. The things he'd do for a fish. If Prince Jing's manor was broken into, they should report the case to the government office and leave the interrogation to them. That was the proper way to do things. If they took matters into their own hands, someone might take the chance to retaliate. Of course, though, after the thieves arrived at the governmental Of course, though, after the thieves arrived at the government office, Prince Jing's manor could give a few suggestions as to how to make them confess as soon as possible. This is a scene break. Good lord. I love this man. The sixth and third princes were discussing the latest issue at the third prince's manor. Mu Tianzhao knew that Mu Tianming had visited Prince Jing to try and convince him to sell his fish. Mu Tianzhao didn't agree with this move. Instead of trying to make the emperor happy through grand actions, they should just do a good job on the tasks the emperor gave them. But even though Mu Tianming trusted him, he didn't listen to everything Mu Tianzhao said. So Mu Tianming made the final decision himself, and Mu Tianzhao couldn't do anything about it. Fine. Mu Tianming had sent people to steal the fish after failing to buy it. But then he failed to steal the fish, and his people were arrested as soon as they entered Prince Jing's manor. Mu Tianzhao was speechless. All that trouble for a fish All that trouble for a fish that His Majesty might forget about tomorrow? You are so wrong on so many levels. My guy brought his fish to a banquet. You think he takes this fish with him everywhere? You think he'd have to get amnesia to forget about him? Of course it's worth it. Mu Tianming was stubborn. When Prince Jing rudely kicked him out of his manor, it became a bigger issue to him than a mere pet fish. The third prince thought Prince Jing was only making it hard on himself, trying to make an enemy out of him, even though he was close to becoming the crown prince. Imperial brother, it's best to stop sending people. If Prince Jing finds out, Mu Tianzhao tried to convince him, but the third prince brushed him off. What are you afraid of? My people won't incriminate me. They'll stay silent. Why are you so afraid? Even if Prince Jing suspects me, what can he do? If he does anything untoward to my people, I'll have the censorate punish him for abusing his powers. Let's see if he can even keep his title of prince. Incredible. Mu Tianzhao rubbed his temples in stress. All the same, it's not good that Prince Jing caught them. You should stop trying to steal the fish. Mu Tianming clearly didn't want to give up. So you think a mute should have an auspicious sign instead of you or me? Fucking, I'm gonna kill this bitch. Of course not, Mu Tianzhao smiled and gave him a look. Since it's an auspicious sign, I'm sure father will ask the Imperial Astrological Bureau about it. The Imperial Astrological Bureau, Mu Tianming's eyes shone. This could indeed be a way to get rid of Prince Jing. But father himself called it an auspicious sign. Even the Imperial Astrological Bureau might not refute him. Why would they need to refute it? Mu Tianzhao's warm expression didn't change as he asked, smiling. Has third brother forgotten the theory of too far is as bad as not far enough? Mu Tianming paused for a second before he understood what the sixth prince meant, and he started laughing wildly. As the sixth prince predicted, The emperor summoned the Imperial Astrological Bureau officials not long after, and the third prince made his move according to the sixth prince's suggestion. There weren't many Imperial Astrological Bureau officials, but they were so important that a single word from them could sway a situation. Prince Jing naturally had a few of his own people planted in such an important department. Prince Jing had Prince Jing also had selfish motives when he took his fish to greet the emperor. Zhao Yu had changed a lot, and he might change in the future too. News of it would reach the emperor sooner or later, and Prince Jing wanted to let him know preemptively so that he could find an excuse for Zhao Yu to cover up the fact that he was a Yao. If things didn't go well, Prince Jing was also prepared for the bureau to speak with the emperor. However, the emperor himself believed that Zhao Yu's new golden scales were a good omen, which saved Prince Jing a lot of trouble. Prince Jing had guessed that the emperor would eventually consult the imperial... this is so annoying to say. Consult the Imperial Astrological Bureau and ask them to cooperate. So when the third prince made his move, Prince Jing caught wind of it soon after. Mu Tianming was so vicious that he wanted the bureau to tell the emperor that the golden scaled fish was showing signs of transforming into a dragon. In this dynasty, only the emperor could use the dragon pattern and call himself the true dragon and son of heaven. If a fish raised by a prince looked like it might turn into a dragon, the emperor would definitely put his guard up. When that happened, not only would Prince Jing be in trouble, he would be hard... What? I skipped a line. Oh, it would be hard for anyone to associate with him to escape from disaster, especially Zhao Yu. Luckily, he'd received the news beforehand and wouldn't let that happen. The third prince ordered someone to invite a senior monk in case the emperor questioned the Imperial Astrological Bureau. That way, he'd have two separate forces speaking in his favor. But Prince Jing wasn't going to back down either. He wrote a letter and had Wang Ji send it out immediately. He predicted that another storm was coming, but he'd protect Zhao Yu no matter what. After he dealt with the serious business, Prince Jing returned to his room, only to see a figure he'd been waiting for. Zhao Yu had transformed into a human and was wearing a blue silk robe embroidered with gold branches. He was humming an unknown melody as he bent over to smooth out the bed. Bitch. Prince Jing stared at him from far away, wanting to approach but afraid of disturbing him. So he just appreciated Zhao Yu's figure as the young man hummed the tune. Zhao Yu was still the same as when they first met, spirited and lively. Every young man and woman he'd met before all tied their waist sashes tightly, but Zhao Yu didn't seem to know how. His was tied casually in a messy knot, hanging loose around his hips. Oh boy. A bare hint of the outline of his slim waist was visible. Frothing out of the mouth. Boy! Prince Jing could have... This is porn! I'm reading porn! Prince Jing could have easily wrapped one arm around it. It was like a delicate willow that could snap at any moment. What? I'm speechless. Prince Jing acknowledged this was a bit over the top, but his mind still automatically made this comparison. Further down, concealed beneath the blue robe... I can't stand him! Further down, concealed beneath the blue robe, was a slightly raised, round... ... Prince Jing looked away immediately. Your Highness, you're back! Liu had noticed the movement behind him and smiled as he ran over to bow to him. Since he got back from the palace, he'd been carefully watching how the servants in the manor greeted the prince, and he performed one that looked about the same. He turned into a human this time because he had promised to stay in Prince Jing's manor and help him take care of his fish, so he had to show his face in front of Prince Jing occasionally to show that he was actually working, even if he was just feeding himself. Prince Jing just casually scoping out the fish, but yep. He was just. You know what? I don't blame him. I don't blame him either. I would do exactly the same. Liu was extremely grateful that Prince Jing had made such a huge fish pond for him, but fish couldn't talk, so he couldn't express his thanks in any way other than give him a little fish kiss. And even though he transformed into a human and could talk now, Prince Jing didn't know he was his fish. You stupid! So if he casually thanked Prince Jing on behalf of the fish, the prince might treat him like a monster. All Liu could do was tidy up the room before feeding himself as an expression of silent thanks. He is such a stupid dum-dum. He needs a good bonk. But Prince Jing's room was always kept very clean. Liu looked around the whole room and couldn't find anything to improve. In the end, the only thing he could do was mess up the bed and make it again. He didn't expect to see Prince Jing after he'd completed this one single task. Seeing the fish in its human form made most of Prince Jing's anger toward the third prince disappear. He stepped forward and grabbed Liu's hand, dragging him along with him. There was something he'd wanted to do for a long time. Liu was startled to be suddenly whisked away, but silently cautioned himself that when he was a fish, he couldn't go against his master, and when he was human, he couldn't go against a prince. With Liu in tow, Prince Jing quickly arrived at his table and had him sit down. Liu was a little panicked. Was he going to ask him questions again? To be honest, one of the reasons Liu transformed into a human this time was because he wanted to find out where the wine was in Prince Jing's manor. Green plum wine was hard to get your hands on, so if he was going to indulge, he needed to find where the normal wine was first. Then he could grab a jar, mix it with some water, and somehow make Prince Jing drink it with him. Boy, you trying to drug him? If he diluted it first, he wouldn't embarrass himself too badly, right? Liu had a plan in mind. He wouldn't contradict or debate with the tyrant. He'd just pretend he was still a fish, obediently listening to what Prince Jing wanted him to do. Prince Jing laid out some brush. What the fuck? Prince Jing laid out some paper and a brush, then handed an ink stick and inkstone to Liu. Liu laughed, startled. Your Highness, do you want me to grind ink? Prince Jing nodded lightly. So he wants me to grind ink for him first before I answer questions. Ha! Liu was complaining internally, but he still ground the ink very seriously. Soon the thick black ink appeared. Liu put down the ink stick and thoughtlessly rubbed his nose. Idiot. Leaving behind a smear of ink on the tip of his nose without noticing. Idiot! He reminded Prince Jing of the time Xiao Yu was covered in ink stain. This reminded Prince Jing of the time Xiao Yu was covered in ink stains, and he couldn't help the upward twitch of his lips. There's a illustration! He's so cute. Oh my god. Okay, we'll get to it. After Liu ground the ink, Prince Jing gave him a brush. He doesn't want me to answer questions. He wants me to write something? Liu rolled up his sleeves. He clutched the brush awkwardly, almost like he was holding chopsticks. Please let me know what you want me to write, Your Highness. And it'd be best if I could get a reward, like a jar of wine or something. I was just worrying about what kind of excuse I'd need to get one. Those are his thoughts. His crude grip surprised Prince Jing. No wonder the brush he used last time had frayed. But Prince Jing didn't judge Xiao Yu for not knowing how to write. He got up and stood behind him. Confused, Liu stared at him curiously. Prince Jing tried his hardest to not look at Xiao Yu's pale, exposed wrists as he reached out to cover the hand that was holding the brush with his own. He gently encircled Xiao Yu in his arms and turned him slightly to correct his awkward posture. I'm fine. This guy definitely has a thing for, like, joints. He had a thing for his ankles before, and now he has a thing for his wrists. That, honestly, that's so valid. That is so valid. I'll give that to you. That is just, yeah. No. Yeah, of course. Psst, obviously. Oy. Liu blushed, very flustered. He wasn't illiterate, but he didn't know how to use the brush they had in ancient times. Prince Jing was probably just teaching him how to hold a brush and write. But this was way too close. Prince Jing's hand was holding his, Prince Jing's arms were supporting him, and he could feel his warm breath on his ears. When he looked back all around him, up, down, left, right, Prince Jing was surrounding him. One of Liu's ears went completely red. He thought uneasily. This is just a normal lesson. Don't think anything crazy. Prince Jing's calligraphy is quite good, and he's willing to teach me. Don't waste his time. Prince Jing held his hand just like that and taught him how to write a proper, correct fish character. Writing wasn't hard after all. That's what the illustration is illustrating. It's depicting. Oh my god. I'm so great. I'm so great. I'm so great and they're so cute. Before long, Liu was completely immersed in his scrawlings. If he was in fish form, his tail would have confidently pointed up to the sky. He didn't realize until he turned back into a fish that he'd forgotten to ask for a reward. But Prince Jing had been teaching him how to write the entire time, so it's not like he could ask for a reward. Liu was a little embarrassed. It seemed that Prince Jing had expertly thwarted his plans. Stupid. Also, tell me how you turned back into a fish, after Prince Jing was literally wrapped around you. That's the end of the chapter, by the way. I'm going to take a really quick break to get some more tea, and I will be right back. Yep, okay, BRB. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? I'd like to know where my mouse is. Okay, BRB. Alright, we are back. I am out of breath. I also had to feed the dogs real quick. I also heard a hawk outside, so that was fun. I had to hurriedly rush my dog back inside. But yeah, why was a hawk cawing 3 times in a row? It sounded so fake too. I don't know. Anyway, I got tea. Let me just catch my breath. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. The next chapter is called Fish Protecting His Master. Because of course he would. Because why wouldn't he? Because that is ingrained in his psyche. That's his purpose in this whole book. Is it not? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? That's his whole thing, right? That's his whole fucking thing. Okay. Anyway, while my tea cools a little bit, how's your day? How's your day going? My day's going pretty okay. It's pretty alright. I was in a Smasher Pass recently, and they fucking clipped it, right? Oh my god. It's great. The streamer called me a bottom, and that got clipped. And now I am... I guess that's what I am now. It was fun. Medically diagnosed bottom. No, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's so silly though. The streamer is I don't know how to pronounce his name honestly. It should be Callum, right? Callum is how you say it. Callum V2. He's also a bottom, so it was like, I know one when I see one. It was a time. It was a time. Bottom of bottom. It truly was. I can't believe this. But then he also said 5'4" is short, so he said 5'4" is tiny. I'm like, hell, I'm hearing my 5'4" and ask. I don't think so. I don't think I'm that small. Most of my friends are smaller. Granted, I only have one friend that I know the height of. But that actually means all of my friends, to my knowledge, are smaller than me because I don't know the height of my other friends because they are online friends. Oh no. Oh, it's true, the Shire. No. I promise I'm not that small. It's not even that crazy of a height difference. I swear. How tall are y'all? How tall are you? You're calling me a hobbit? How tall are you? Slander. My tea is still cooling down. Shut the fuck up. Get out of here. Not 6 feet. Oh my god. What the hell is this? What the hell is even this? Alright, now we have some tea ASMR. It must be great not having background music. Anyway, we're good. Tea is teeing. Oh, sorry, I bumped the mic at the base of it or whatever. Sorry, I shouldn't clap. That is something I need to stop doing. It's like I keep clapping right in front of the mic to alright, let's get started. I apologize. That is not something I should be doing. Anyway, chapter 43. Fish protecting his master. Again, as we said, of course he would. That's his whole thing. The emperor summoned Prince Jing to the palace again, and this time he specifically insisted that Prince Jing bring his fish. Liu didn't know about the third prince's plans or Prince Jing's counterplans, but since it was his first time being mentioned in an imperial edict, he was quite nervous. He jumped onto the crystal bottle cooperatively, wanting to be put inside. Prince Jing's expression was a little dark, but he patted the fish's head gently. Whatever was troubling him, it wasn't Liu. Liu recalled the same hand. Liu recalled the same hand had intimately held his own while teaching him how to write. So he hid away shyly. It wasn't long before his fishy nature took over, though, and he came back out, wanting to be pet again. He could tell that Prince Jing was in a bad mood. He didn't know why, but he hoped Prince Jing would feel better soon. Zhao Yu asking for pets finally made Prince Jing smile a little. After he petted his fish, Prince Jing brought him into the palace, as the edict commanded. Outside of Chanqing Palace, they were greeted personally by head eunuch Luo. When they entered the palace, they saw the emperor sitting on the throne with several other people dressed like officials. Strangely enough, the third and sixth princes were also there. Liu was confused. Last time, when there was a fire in the palace, the third and sixth princes made a trip to the palace to check on the emperor. But why were they here now? The third prince was rash, while the sixth prince was devious. Together, they could be underestimated. They couldn't be underestimated. Sorry, I'm trying to put my hair up with one hand, and that just does not work. Like, hair back out of my face. It's just not possible. Let me put my headphones on again. Why were they here? No, you couldn't be underestimated. As soon as Prince Jing walked into the palace with his fish, the two princes' gaze turned to him, making the fish a little nervous. As a result, Liu couldn't stop darting glances back over toward them. The emperor smiled when he saw Prince Jing. Tianqi, good timing. Since your fish is growing golden scales, I had the Imperial Astrological Bureau do a reading. So, that's what was going on. Liu nodded to himself. The emperor had summoned him because of the whole auspicious thing. It would be difficult to convince the general populace that this fish was auspicious just because the emperor said so. After all, it would be a bit ridiculous for the emperor to declare a sign of auspiciousness for himself. But if the Imperial Astrological Bureau confirmed it, then Liu would be the real deal. The emperor had just finished speaking when a solemn official came out, spouting a lot of official language that Liu couldn't understand, which ended with, "Congratulations, Your Majesty. A fish growing golden scales is truly a rare auspicious sign. We took this in conjunction with the celestial phenomena that has occurred recently, and the Ziwei star is slowly rising and shining dazzlingly." The Ziwei star has a footnote. Polaris, Ziwei star Polaris represents the emperor in Chinese astrology. Okay. Cool. Everything is progressing smoothly. This is all beneficial to both our empire and your majesty. The official was praising him with such refined language, the little carp couldn't help but raise his tail proudly. Okay, I'm gonna start this page over. The official was praising him with such refined language, the little carp couldn't help but raise his tail proudly. He'd always thought that astrologers must be highly adept at saying exactly what the emperor wanted to hear. His status as an auspicious sign was practically a foregone conclusion. I forgot how to say that again. The emperor's unease over the fire in Zhongshui Palace had vanished from his heart, and he nodded, smiling. Very good, those are my thoughts as well. The Imperial Astrological Bureau officials received a sizable reward and thanked him, satisfied. Royal Father, is that it? The third prince had waited for a while, and this was the conclusion he got? Wasn't the Imperial Astrological Bureau supposed to say that a fish growing scales was a sign of impending dragon transformation? Why didn't the people he planted in the bureau do what he wanted? Maybe because you're a little bitch. Maybe that's why. Confused, the Emperor asked, "That's it? That's it. What else would there be? It sounds as if you believe there should be more." No, that's not what I meant. By now, the third prince had realized that something had probably gone wrong, but he refused to just let go of this opportunity. He clenched his teeth and said, "Royal Father, I am unfamiliar with how the Imperial Astrological Bureau operates. Does only one official do the reading, or is it several? If it's just one person, is it possible for them to miss something?" Ooh. Mu Tianming thought the problem must just be that his people weren't given the opportunity to meet the emperor. So if they just switched the official making the announcement, everything would go as planned. The person who had just congratulated the emperor was the director of the Imperial Astrological Bureau, named Sun Simiao. No, Simiao. Yeah, Simiao. Simiao. Or Sun. Sun Simiao? Sun? I feel like if it was sun, it would just be spelled with a O, you know? Instead of a U. Because it's S-U-N. Then it might be Sun Simiao. Director Sun smiled at Mu Tianming. I really think it's Sun. Your Highness. That's a strong accusation. Reading the stars for His Majesty and the Emperor. What? Reading the stars for His Majesty and the Empire. Yeah, I said that right. Goodness gracious. Reading the stars for His Majesty and the Empire is an event of utmost importance, and the result you just heard was the conclusion that the that word is haunting me. That the entire Imperial Astrological Bureau came to. If your Highness does not trust me, the answer will remain the same, even if you ask for someone else. Liu was a bit startled by the third prince. Why did he suddenly ask for an alternate opinion when everything was fine? He felt like there must be sinister motives at work. Alarmed with whoa, this OBS disconnecting threw me off real far. I don't even know where I am anymore. Alarmed, his whole fish body shook, and Prince Jing reached into the crystal bottle to touch his back with his finger, stroking him from time to time, as if to comfort and calm him down. Leo naturally was easily soothed by his tyrant master. The third prince wasn't anyone important. He was just cannon fodder. While Prince Jing had the protagonist's halo and was destined to be the next emperor, he was already piggybacking off of Prince Jing, so he had nothing to worry about. One had to be skilled to work at the Imperial Astrological Bureau. Sun Simiao wasn't high in rank, but his words still held considerable weight in front of the emperor. When the third prince questioned Director Sun for no reason, he even managed to respond graciously. The emperor trusted Sun Simiao, so he felt the third prince was behaving immaturely. "Tianming," he scolded him sternly, "don't criticize when you don't remember how the bureau works." Scolded, the third prince lowered his head and gave the sixth prince a pointed, sidelong look. Mu Tianzhao immediately understood and stepped forward to speak up. "Royal Father, my brother isn't talking nonsense. We heard a commoner's child singing a nursery rhyme that contradicted what the Imperial Astrological Bureau said. We were afraid that we'd misunderstood the nursery rhyme, so we had some senior monks come and take a look." When the emperor heard the words nursery rhyme, his heart skipped a beat. He stared at the sixth prince. What nursery rhyme? There are words and phrases that are blasphemous, so I dare not repeat them. Please take a look at this instead. The sixth prince took out a piece of paper he had prepared from his robes and handed it to Luo Risheng to give to the emperor. When the emperor received the paper, he read it carefully. Though his expression didn't change, Liu could tell that a cold atmosphere had settled around him. What was on the paper? Why did it make the emperor so unhappy? It wouldn't be a false claim like 3 generations of the Tang Dynasty later, there will be a female leader with the last name Wu, right? Okay. After the emperor read it, he calmly gestured at head eunuch Luo to pass the paper to Prince Jing. When the paper landed in Prince Jing's hands, he opened it and his eyes swept over the words. He read quickly, but historical characters were difficult for Liu to decipher, so he only saw the phrase, "Golden scales do not belong in the pond, but will climb into the sky as a dragon." Wait, what? He wasn't an expert at ancient Chinese, but he could tell that those words were just trying to scapegoat him. The innocent fish. It wasn't just trying to blame him. It was also it also implicated Prince Jing. On the surface, it was saying that the fish could turn into a dragon, but wasn't it actually referring to Prince Jing ascending to the throne? Prince Jing would indeed ascend to the throne in the end, but where did the nursery rhyme come from? Were they afraid the emperor wouldn't make the connection to Prince Jing? The emperor was the head of state, after all. Even if he was sympathetic to Prince Jing, he couldn't ignore this provocation. Tianqi, what do you think? The emperor calmly asked Prince Jing. Right now, nobody knew what the emperor was thinking. Mu Tianming and Mu Tianzhao only hoped that the emperor would become wary of Prince Jing. Once Prince Jing had discovered the sixth prince's dangerous plan, however, he had someone secretly follow the sixth prince and discovered by chance that the sixth prince had been sending people to teach children nursery rhymes. Even though they were just nursery rhymes, Prince Jing was prepared. He calmly glanced at Wang Ji. Wang Ji stepped forward and said, in place of his master, "Your Majesty, this is complete nonsense. His Highness is also confused as to why such a rhyme was spread amongst the people with the intention of ruining the relationship between a father and a son. His Highness implores your Majesty to conduct a thorough investigation to see when this rhyme was spread. If it was just the past few days..." The Emperor had only recently discovered that Prince Jing's fish was changing scales, so it was possible that someone was deliberately taking advantage of this incident. The Emperor gave it some thought and nodded. What Prince Jing said is reasonable. I also intended to do this. He didn't get angry at Prince Jing over the nursery rhyme. Instead, he ordered his imperial guards to investigate and find out when it was first heard and who it had originated from. The attempts to frame Prince Jing continued to fail. The third prince anxiously glanced at the second prince, who looked calm on the surface but was sweating a little on the inside. This was truly a devious move. The second prince... What? No. This was truly a devious move the sixth prince had come up with, but it backfired since the emperor didn't pay attention to the nursery rhyme itself. He was more interested in when the nursery rhyme first appeared, which was something that could be easily investigated and found out. It was then that the eminent monks that the sixth prince had summoned arrived. When he saw the row of monks, Liu, who had been caught off guard and wasn't operating at full capacity, remembered that there was a similar plot in the novel where monks were involved. Thanks to a little butterfly named Liu flapping his wings all over the place, the original plot was now a mess. In the novel, when the sixth prince and Prince Jing were fighting for the throne, a monk was ordered to lie to the emperor to frame Prince Jing. However, the rumor in the novel was Prince Jing was born a mute and is therefore inauspicious. Now instead, it was a fish growing golden scales will turn into a dragon? It was of course nonsense. It wasn't rare for a fish to have golden scales. For example, koi almost always had golden scales. The emperor himself had many koi in his own lotus pond, so why would a carp that was meant to be food transform into a dragon before them? It was a logical argument, but it couldn't be used to convince the emperor. Liu thought. Hang on. Did I miss a footnote? No, it's coming up. Okay. Liu thought to himself, since these were both rumors, thought up by the sixth prince, they should be the same in principle. Would the same flaw appear here? In the novel, the sixth prince framed Prince Jing too hastily and couldn't find any trusted, eminent monks to help him. Most monks weren't foolish enough to get involved in a conflict between princes. Thus, the monks he found were all fake ones. They had been freshly shaven, and they didn't even have any precept scars. Footnote: precept scars are ritual burn scars given to monks in some Buddhist practices after they have taken their vows and shaved their heads. Okay. Wait. Okay, that's fine. This is fine. This is so fine. Okay, sorry. I just read it. Never mind. We'll get to it. With this in mind, Liu stared at the monk in front of him unwaveringly, trying to see if anything was off. Since he was staring so diligently, he slowly noticed that the monk would use his neck to rub his collar occasionally. The movement stood out. Liu suddenly realized that if he had shaved his head in a hurry, there would be itchy little hairs left behind. They must be making him uncomfortable. The sixth prince had brought fake monks this time as well. As long as they could expose the fake monks, I can't say monks. As long as they could expose the fake monks in front of the emperor, no matter how eloquently they spoke, there was no way the emperor would believe them. Liu had thought it through. He was going to splash some water onto Prince Jing again and get them both out of there, but the sixth prince didn't give Prince Jing any time to breathe at all. He hurriedly told the emperor, "Royal father, the investigation to the nursery rhyme needs time, and it may be wrong. I invited these eminent monks, so why don't we have them examine fifth brother's fish instead?" Though the emperor had ordered the imperial guards to investigate the nursery rhyme, a seed of doubt had been planted in his heart all the same. It wouldn't hurt to have the monks take a look at the fish, so he nodded in agreement. But the emperor didn't explicitly say that Prince Jing had to hand the fish over to the monks. Prince Jing's hand tightened on the crystal bottle's handle. Wang Ji knew what Prince Jing was thinking, and he boldly said to the monks, "You don't have to move. His Highness will hold the crystal bottle and show you the fish." The emperor knew Prince Jing cared about his fish a lot, and the monks could see the fish perfectly well like this. The emperor felt a little bad for doubting Prince Jing. Besides, he silent. Oh, okay. The emperor felt a little bad for doubting Prince Jing. Besides, so he silently allowed it. Oui. Liu didn't have the time to find an opportunity to tell Prince Jing. The sixth prince would probably be the first to refuse if he tried to make a long-term plan, as he did before. Besides, the fake monks were right in front of him. Still, there was no way Liu would let the monks alienate the emperor from Prince Jing by spouting nonsense about golden scales turning into a dragon. Prince Jing could suggest that Prince Jing could suggest the emperor investigate the nursery rhyme because it was the first time the emperor had heard of such rumors, and he might not believe it right away. But if the monks said the same thing here and now, even lies could be believed if repeated enough times. Would the emperor still trust Prince Jing then? Liu was with Prince Jing all the time, so he knew him well. Prince Jing knew no disrespectful intentions. The father-son relationship. Prince Jing had no disrespectful intentions. The father-son relationship they had was troubled and hard-won to begin with. It shouldn't be challenged like this. The most urgent thing was to expose these fake monks right here. As soon as they left the palace, they'd be hard to track down. There were opportunities, even if they had to take a risk. While Prince Jing was walking toward the leading monk with his fish, letting him get a look, Liu ferociously slammed into the side of the crystal bottle facing the monk. His fish body's strength had gone through several boosts from the system and was quite a few times stronger than before. Liu put all his strength into it. There was a loud crack, and a huge hole was punched through the bottle. The little carp immediately flew toward the lead monk. The monk never expected the fish to emerge from the crystal bottle like that. Oh wait, that didn't even register. I've been just focusing on reading. That didn't register in my head what just happened. A huge hole was punched through the bottle. The little carp immediately flew toward the lead monk. This guy is insane. He is actually just fucking insane. Oh my god. The monk never expected the fish to emerge from the crystal bottle like that. Shocked, he instinctively raised his hands to block him, but it was too late. The little carp soared over his hands and landed with a smack on his shoulder. In the chaos, the system made a noise, but Liu didn't care about whatever mission had been updated. He'd been waiting with his tail raised, aimed and ready. As soon as he landed on the monk's shoulder, his tail swept outward. His intention to sweep off the monk's hat. He intended to sweep off the monk's hat. If that happened, he was sure that Prince Jing would be able to realize that the monks were imposters. Liu was going to expose them. He no longer cared about the mission or how blasphemous it was for a carp meant to be food to sweep a monk's hat off in front of the emperor. He didn't have time to think. All he wanted was to protect Prince Jing by proving the sixth prince was trying to frame him. The monk was so frightened by the threatening fish that his mouth gaped, his hat fell to the ground, and he forgot to cover his head. "Royal father!" the third prince and the sixth prince shouted in unison as they watched the fish break out of the bottle and knock the hat off the monk's head. Prince Jing, meanwhile, had been keeping an eye on Xiao Yu. As soon as he approached the monk, the carp spirit had started anxiously swimming around in the crystal bottle, so Prince Jing assumed something must be wrong. Clearly, the fish wanted to communicate something important. Prince Jing had made his own assumptions, but he didn't think the carp spirit would ignore his own safety and leap directly onto the monk. The carp spirit had broken out of the bottle, but Prince Jing wouldn't let anything happen to his fish. He had to deal with any loose ends. Most of the fragments of crystal were near his hand, and an idea came to him in this crucial moment. While everyone was still looking at the fish, he grasped a shard tightly in his hand, slicing it open until blood dripped down. "Your Highness!" Wang Ji shouted in shock from behind him, but Prince Jing waved his hand dismissively. There wasn't much time, so this was the only way. Wang Ji stamped his feet, hesitating between bandaging Prince Jing and protecting Master Xiao Yu. In the end, he chose to protect Master Xiao Yu because Prince Jing's expression told him to. He couldn't go against Prince Jing's wishes. Having swept off the monk's hat, the little carp fell to the ground, flapping. Wang Ji quickly grabbed the spare crystal bottle and put the fish back into it. Now that his fish was safe, Prince Jing focused on finding the monk's flaws, and he quickly realized that there were no scars to speak of on the bare head of the monk whose hat had been knocked off. This was a fake monk. This was what Xiao Yu wanted him to know. "Tianqi, what happened? Your hand?" The emperor had blinked, and in that short amount of time, the fish had already leaped onto the monk. With another glance, he realized that Prince Jing's hand was injured. Wang Ji desperately wanted to speak for his master, but Prince Jing stopped him. He instead wrote on the front of Wang Ji's robes, "Royal father, please hear me out. I realized that the monk was an impostor who had not gone through the ordination ceremony. Desperate times call for desperate measures, so I threw the crystal bottle at him to force him to reveal his flaws." My god, they're just protecting each other. No, I can't do this. It's too fucking gay. They're too gay. Oh my god. Ape Salad Crunch. Rep, I'm looking at your strawberries on your character, and it reminded me that I have strawberries in the fridge that I really, 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 really want to eat right now. I'm so excited to eat them. Okay, That was just distraction. Okay. Um. The Emperor had been on edge ever since he heard about the nursery rhyme. Now he looked back and forth from the blood-stained robes to the crystal fragments on the ground, his heart in chaos. In a panic, the fake monk put his hat on again, but it was too late. The Emperor ordered the guards to hold him down firmly and take his hat off to check his head. Their inspection revealed he really was unordained. Strawberries, 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 strawberries. They're so good too. I had one earlier. Anyway, the Emperor understood now. He had seen the fish go flying because Prince Jing had broken the crystal bottle in his haste. Prince Jing was unable to speak and couldn't prove his innocence, so this was the only means at his disposal to expose the fake monks. Out of habit and narrow-mindedness, the Emperor had suspected Prince Jing at first and was nearly taken advantage of by a bunch of fake monks. Prince Jing's hands were still bleeding and his face was pale. The Emperor regretted his actions very much. He patted Prince Jing's shoulder and said gently, "Tianqi, my son, you've suffered. Quickly, go to the imperial physicians and have them take a look at your injury." He ordered Luo Risheng and Guangxi to help Prince Jing to the side hall and wait for the imperial physicians. The third prince and sixth prince, along with the kneeling and kowtowing fake monks, were all left to face the furious emperor. That is the end of the chapter. I'm on mobile. I didn't know those were strawberries. I thought it was a crow with a bow tie. I'm honestly not sure what it is, to be honest. I kind of have no idea what it is. But those are definitely strawberries, I think. From what I can see. I think they're supposed to be glasses, but they're like in the wrong place, so they just look like a bow tie, but it's cute either way, so it doesn't matter. Oh man, okay. Can I tell you what the next chapter is called? Can I tell you what the next chapter is called? Chapter 44 is called Desire to be Sucked by the Fish. And it's very short, and we could totally just read it right now. I was gonna end here, but my throat feels fine. I think I can keep going. It's very short. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10 pages. But like it looks like 5 because it's, double-sided. Anyway. We could just read that. We're gonna read it. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna read it. Okay. Desire to be sucked by the fish. Oh man, this book is so crazy. The imperial physicians rushed over to check Prince Jing's injured hand, but Prince Jing shielded the injury, shot a look at Wang Ji, and glanced at the crystal bottle Wang Ji had brought over. He had simply been cut by a sharp edge of the broken bottle, but Xiao Yu was the one who broke the bottle in the first place, so they had to check if he was all right first. Wang Ji sighed, resigned, and asked the imperial physician to look at the fish. Only then did Prince Jing permit the other physicians to treat him. The imperial physician the imperial physician who was examining the fish soon came over to report that the fish was unharmed. Prince Jing nodded, but his own injury wasn't nearly so simple. The imperial physicians had to take out the shards of crystal that were embedded into his flesh one by one, and that alone took half an hour. Eee! After that was done, the wounds needed to be cleaned, and medicine was applied. Blood-stained gauze was continuously applied and removed, making Wang Ji's heart twinge in pain. He couldn't help but ask, "Your Highness, does it hurt? Do you want this old servant to blow on it?" I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I love Wang Ji. He raised him. Oh man, I can't. Prince Jing wasn't in that much pain anymore, but Wang Ji's words were enough to make his expression darken. After the imperial physician had dealt with Prince Jing's injury, They reminded him to keep his wounds dry and went to report to the emperor. Wang Ji frowned his brows and hurried. What? Oh. Wang Ji furrowed his brows and hurried to move the crystal bottle away, afraid that His Highness would immediately start playing with his fish again. Prince Jing had to signal for Wang Ji to move the crystal bottle closer. Wang Ji obeyed, but he still put the crystal bottle in a spot that was out of Prince Jing's reach. Frustrated, Prince Jing ordered him to go outside and stand guard. Wang Ji did comply, walking out of the room, but he was clearly unwilling to leave with how many times he looked back. Is the title referring to like Let Me Kiss a Better kind of thing? Or I hate these clickbaity titles are insane. I can't. Shortly after Wang Ji left, Prince Jing left his seat and stood in front of the table where the crystal bottle stood. The fish inside was no longer as brave as he had been when he broke out of the bottle and stared at the prince pitifully. The little carp had needed to be scooped up from the ground after he showed off his abilities and knocked the hat off of the fake monk. But his new fish scales were truly quite powerful. After all this chaos, the fish was still lively and active, and he felt like he could have assailed even more monks without issue. He did still feel a bit unsatisfied, even after all that, but unfortunately, he didn't get an opportunity to slap the third and sixth princes. But those two had been willing to bring fake monks before the emperor, so at least there was no way the emperor would let them off easily. After his attack, Liu had been smugly basking in his success with no thought for his own safety, when he suddenly heard Wang Ji shout in surprise. Liu had looked around only to discover that Prince Jing was bleeding. He'd frozen, unable to work out how Prince Jing had been injured, since he broke out of the crystal bottle in the opposite direction. At most, Prince Jing should have only been startled. What's more, he had made a huge fuss in front of the Emperor. When he slapped noble consort Cho in the face, the Emperor hadn't been there to see it. But this time the Emperor had witnessed everything firsthand. It was surprising that he hadn't been punished. Soon, though, the Emperor's furious scolding had made him understand that Prince Jing had taken the blame for his sudden strange behavior. He'd been so focused on exposing the fake monks. I don't know why, it just, like, the M sound won't come after the K sound. Fake monks. He'd been so focused on exposing the fake monks that he jumped out while ignoring his own safety and any potential consequences. His special nature definitely would have been revealed by his actions. But Prince Jing, But because Prince Jing hurt his own hand on purpose and pretended that his fish flying out was a special plan, the fish remained safe. Prince Jing himself, though. Liu, safe in his crystal bottle, had gazed at Prince Jing from afar. He didn't know how serious Prince Jing's injury was, only that the Emperor's features were now twisted, and the imperial physicians were descending upon Prince Jing. Despite all this, Prince Jing had still insisted that an imperial physician check his fish first. There really was no need for that, of course. He was fine, so there wasn't much to check, but he was touched by Prince Jing's protectiveness, and still had no way to thank him. I bet you figured it out. Oh, you'll figure it out. Okay. The crystal bottle separated him from everyone else, and from his fishy perspective, he could only see the busy backs of the imperial physicians. Liu couldn't break another crystal bottle and give Prince Jing any more trouble, so all he could do was press against the bottle's walls and watch. Now, as the two of them stared at each other, he severely regretted not thinking before taking action. If only Prince Jing hadn't gotten hurt. One of Prince Jing's hands was injured, so he tried to open the crystal bottle with his other hand. The little carp immediately swam to the mouth of the bottle. He wanted to get closer, but remembering the time he'd accidentally flipped the bottle over, he didn't want to be too hasty. Instead, he just looked up at Prince Jing and wagged his tail like a good boy. I need to sip for that. He said it himself. This book is killing me! I'm already dead! Let's just read that again. He didn't want to. Oh, okay. Instead, he just looked up at Prince Jing and wagged his tail like a good boy. I hate him. I hate him, but I love him. Prince Jing placed his uninjured hand into the water. Whoa, I regress. Into the water. And the pitiful fish, who had caused so much trouble, swam over to him and rubbed his fingers. The imperial physician and Wang Ji had both said the fish was fine, but Prince Jing could tell that his fish was feeling a bit low. Maybe he was frightened and sad. Prince Jing patted the fish's head. For his own part, he was somewhat sleepy from blood loss. You lost that much blood? So once he'd confirmed that his fish was fine, he sat back down and leaned to one side so he could take a little nap. Man, you would not survive a period. just saying. I hope you're not the one being empregged because, Liu was quite worried about Prince Jing's injury. He couldn't speak in his inconvenient fish body, and he and Prince Jing were the only ones in the side hall. So as soon as Prince Jing's back was to him, Liu transformed into human form. He now had a proper place in Prince Jing's manor, and because Prince Jing took pity on him for not having any possessions, he gave him a lot of old, unworn clothes. Leo wasn't sure exactly what was appropriate or fashionable in this style of clothing, so he just picked two of his favorites and kept them in his inventory so he wouldn't have to worry about running around looking for clothes when he transformed. That is smart. Leo got changed quickly and then approached the side of the daybed, bending to look at Prince Jing's hand. You know what would make him feel better? The imperial physician had bandaged it well, so his hand was wrapped in a thick gauze. It hadn't been very long, but some blood was already starting to seep through. Liu felt so bad that he worriedly chewed his lips. When he took notice that Prince Jing was lying on his side without a blanket, he was afraid that Prince Jing would catch a cold on top of being injured, so he pulled a thin blanket over to drape over him. It said over twice, wanting to take good care of him. Ugh. I can't. Prince Jing had been secretly waiting for this fish for a long time. He even pretended to fall asleep to get the fish to transform. As soon as Leo came closer, he turned around and looked at him with a smile. Leo suppressed a tearful heat surging into his eyes and said, embarrassed, "Did you not fall asleep, Your Highness? Does your wound still hurt?" Liu's heart ached so much. It must be even worse for Prince Jing. The cream the imperial physician used had an analgesic. I don't want to say it that way. Analgesic effect, so Prince Jing had already stopped feeling the pain, but when he saw Zhao Yu's eyes full of worry, he hesitated. For some reason, he found himself For some reason, he found himself nodding. If it hurt... If it hurt, would Xiao Yu rush to blow on it for him the way Wang Ji did? He didn't need Wang Ji to blow on it, but he would think about it if Xiao Yu offered. He waited for Xiao Yu to say those words, but Xiao Yu wasn't thinking of that at all. He thought Prince Jing was still in pain, so he scurried over to the jade box that contained snacks and took out a couple of peach blossom pastries. Your Highness, if it still hurts, eat something sweet. It'll stop hurting when you eat something delicious. The carved spirit said, forcing a smile. He's treating him like a toddler, and I'm so here for it. It's so cute. That's probably what he thinks when he gets hurt. Man, if I just had something good to eat, I'd feel great. Because as we know, this guy's sole purpose of living is to eat good food. And I respect that so much. It's like, honestly, same. Oh man. Prince Jing lightly coughed, somewhat disappointed. Oh well. Since Xiao Yu wasn't going to blow on his wound, eating the sweets he gave him was fine too. But his. Oh no, I know where this is going. I know where this is going. But his right hand was injured, so he really couldn't move it. It took a moment for Liu to realize the problem. I'll help you, he said. He took out a pastry and broke it into bite sized pieces. In ancient times, princes wouldn't eat just anything someone offered them, so Liu tasted a piece first. You can't eat this. It's. Oh, you can eat. Chris. You can eat this. It's not poisoned. I feel fine. Please feel free to have some. Prince Jing thought. Oh god. Okay. Prince Jing thought that was a bit excessive, as he trusted Xiao Yu, but it wasn't the time to mention that. Liu brought the rest of the peach blossom pastry to Prince Jing's lips and watched as he slowly ate 2 pieces. He couldn't help but think that this used to be how his master fed his fish, but the fish was feeding his master now. Liu's eyes were still warm. At first he managed to keep his tears under control, but once he got distracted, a couple of teardrops fell. Prince Jing was taken aback, and Liu, panically, wiped his reddened eyes. Prince Jing didn't know he was his fish, so it would scare him to see Liu shedding tears so suddenly. Liu hurried to explain, I'm sorry, Your Highness. Some sand got into my eyes, so. It was easy to say, but emotions were like floodwater bursting out of a dam. Once it found an opening, it couldn't be reined back. Tears were just the same. Liu wasn't the kind of person who liked to cry, but he covered his face, and his shoulders heaved for 15 straight minutes before he finally managed to calm down, his face soaked. He felt like he'd embarrassed himself immensely. Sob, 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 literally. I wanted to take care of my master, but I let him see something so humiliating. Liu's eyelids were slightly swollen, and his voice was hoarse. My apologies. I was a bit scared I'm starting over. My apologies. I was a bit scared after I found Your Highness injured. Faced with such a clumsy lie, Prince Jing paused, then smiled and patted Liu's hand. Unfortunately, his own hand was still wrapped in gauze, so he couldn't hold a brush and had no way to say what he wanted. That completely blew over my head, but him injuring his hand is, like, really bad. It's these small things. You don't think about it, but then if you really think about it, you're just like, oh shit, you're fucking right. Okay. He felt unhappy that Xiao Yu was crying in the end. Nope. He felt unhappy that Xiao Yu was crying. In the end, it was his own incompetence that made Xiao Yu worry. Prince Jing pulled out a clean cloth from beside the pillow and silently handed it to Liu. Liu wiped his face with it and smiled wetly. Does it still hurt, Your Highness? Prince Jing sighed internally. It's not like you're going to blow on it, even if it hurts. But afraid that Xiao Yu would hurry. What? But afraid that Xiao Yu would worry, he shook his head this time. Then you should get some rest, said Liu. Wounds heal faster when you're asleep. Really? Prince Jing had never heard of that before, but he did as Liu said and shifted his body to lie down. Liu sat down on the side of the daybed, but soon got up, as if he remembered he had to do something, only for Prince Jing to grab his wrist. Your Highness, he said, distressed, I'm going to get some water for you. Liu had noticed that Prince Jing's lips were dry and thought he might want some water to soothe his throat. Prince Jing shook his head and refused. Helpless, Liu could only give in. Since Prince Jing was holding onto his arm, it was hard for him to step away. If Prince Jing wanted to sleep, then he could only watch from the side. But it wasn't as if sitting beside him was tiring. Prince Jing lay quietly for a while, then his eyes opened. Then opened his eyes. His deep gaze, heavy with emotion, fell on Liu. Recently, Prince Jing was always looking at him like that. It was a different gaze from the one he used with the third prince, the sixth prince, or Wang Gonggong. Liu could always sense a slight smile in it. Your Highness, is there anything else you want? He asked worriedly, not realizing how gentle his tone was. Crumbs! Prince Jing pursed his lips. He wanted to get closer, but this fish had no self-awareness, so he could only use some other tricks to accomplish that. So, Prince Jing, who was wrapped in a blanket and warm all over, pretended to shiver. That's not the end of the chapter, but it should be. I'm closing the book right out. That's the end. I'm done. I'm done. Oh my god. He's such... I can't stand him. He's so gay. I can't... Like, what? How am I supposed to say that? I can't... He's pathetic. I want to... Yeah. He's so pathetic. Oh my god. Okay. One more page. Your Highness, are you cold? Prince Jing nodded at him twice, earnestly. Liu thought it was natural to feel cold after losing blood, and tyrants were no exception. But there were no more blankets on the daybed, so Liu said hurriedly, Your Highness, please wait. I'll go find another blanket. Stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Oh, they're both so stupid. Liu was about to go searching when Prince Jing bolted upright faster than he could, pulled him back down, and patted his shoulder, communicating that he should stay in place. Liu did as he asked, confused, and watched helplessly as the tall, large man, wrapped in a blanket, feebly rested his head on his thighs. I'm drawing that. On the next drawing stream, we're drawing that, okay? I'm drawing that. I need to draw that. Oh my god. Large man wrapped in a blanket feebly rested his head on his thighs. Oh my god. Huh? So sleeping on someone's legs while cold would help? The human body was warm, so this might be more comfortable than wrapping another blanket around him. What an actual fucking idiot. Liu's eyes had just been hot, but now it was his face's turn. He convinced himself that since Prince Jing had been injured on his account, there was nothing wrong with him using his legs as a pillow. He tried his best to ignore the unfamiliar feeling on his legs. Prince Jing closed his eyes, satisfied, and slightly smiled. Then he pretended to shiver again. Again! Idiot game. It's true. Your Highness, are you still cold? Liu asked cautiously. Prince Jing nodded eagerly, 3 times this time. Thinking of how His Highness was wounded because of him, Liu hugged him in resignation. How about now? Prince Jing settled in, still somewhat disappointed. His Highness was so cold. He wanted someone to suck his essence. I did not see that coming. I really didn't see that coming. That's the end of the chapter. I can't do it. Oh my god. He was somewhat disappointed. We're done. We're done here. That's... No. We're done. Oh my god, I can't stand it. These chapter titles are dirty work, I know. No. No. What the fuck? it always comes out at the last second. I predictions. Do you think Jing will get the pieces? Like, I think eventually, but I think eventually is a long time away because of how fucking oblivious this guy is and how stupid this other guy is. It's just, oh my god, I can't stand them. They're what the hell? What the hell? The next chapter is called Fishy Nursing. You bet he better be nursing him. Oh my god. Oh my god. No, it's fine. There's just more illustrations that I'm looking at because I love spoilers. Okay, so I'm not looking at them anymore. Okay. With the first book, I looked through all the illustrations already, but I didn't do that with this book. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I'm really excited for the next couple chapters as well. That's crazy. That's crazy. This whole series is crazy. Oh my god, I love it so much. Anyway, that is definitely where we're ending today. I don't think I can handle any more of that bullshit. It is giving me cavities. And also is raising my blood pressure because of how fucking stupid they are. Oh man. It's been a while. I've been streaming for like 2 hours maybe? Maybe. I actually don't know because the stream, well, okay, I started at 6. I've been streaming for more than 2 hours. That's crazy. So I will leave here and definitely not be thinking about this all week. See you later. See you on Friday or Wednesday. Our stream on Wednesday, Friday, another reading stream. You know how it is. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am because this is fucking crazy. I really do like doing these streams, especially when my throat doesn't hurt. That's crazy. My throat does not hurt right now. I have to stop for my psyche, for self-preservation on my mental state. These two are everything I know. I'm obsessed with them. Okay, yeah, I'll see you on Wednesday. If not, I'll see you on Friday. If not, I'll see you on Monday. If not, I'll see you on Wednesday. If not, I'll see you on you know? Do you want fish lips on his peanuts? Not necessarily fish lips, honestly. I think we could do human Liu instead of fish Liu. But yeah, I will see you later. Thanks for that, Catlick. I appreciate it.